Hey there, hello and welcome. It is Madeline here. And today I am interviewing my amazing friend and former client, Joanna, who is the CFO for a local government, right? So she's a CFO for a city and a relatively big city. And in recent years, she was awarded CFO of the year for the work that she did in her position. And she's just an all-around amazing lady, friend, mother, right? So she's a mother of two children in college. She has a beautiful husband and a beautiful family. And she's just an all-around amazing badass. So we worked together and made some amazing changes in Joanna's life. And she's blessing me with this interview. So I'm very excited to introduce her and have her with us today. And we're going to talk about her experience in her working with me, the results that she got from her time in Primordial Power, and I hope that this interview serves you. So, Joanna, my dear, do you have anything to add? Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I think you've got most of it covered. I am a finance director in a fairly large municipality with staff that works for me in several departments. Married with two wonderful kids that are both in college and we're empty nesters because they're both away at school. So it's just me, my husband, and the dog at home. And they do come home from time to time. They're only, they're kind of local. So they live at school, but they come home often enough, for home cooked meals and laundry services. I also have, my mother's still living. I have a sister. I have a couple of brother and sister-in-laws. So I have extended family that are fairly close as well.
Nice, nice. So she has a beautiful family and a great career. She's super smart and super amazing. And before we started working together, life was too busy for her, maybe. So we're all living pretty busy lives, right? Joanna's a high achiever. She's always gotten things done, right? You're a great student, and then you went to work and got great jobs, and then consistently climbed the ladder, right? Kept getting promoted and higher positions throughout her career. So now she's the CFO or finance director. She's the financial chief for her organization. So as you can imagine, balancing that, right, that big job with the jobs or position of being wife, mother, friend, sibling, relative can sometimes be overwhelming or can be overwhelming, right? That might be the word. So Joanna,
that's exactly
you want to tell us what was life like? So before we started working together, what was going on? What was life like for you?
So before we started working together, I was working 50 plus hours a week. I have a very, demanding boss in that, he expects a lot out of everyone. And it starts with the department heads that he appoints, which is, I'm one of them. And as, the finance person, it might not be the most important job in the city, but it's one of them. So that was kind of big shoes to step into. And although
you're the executive staff, right? You're like the executive staff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Right. The director of administration is probably his right arm, but I'm his left for sure. And we think a lot alike, so I know. Even things that are not necessarily under my purview as, in finance, I just know how he's going to react to certain things or how he views certain things. So, even people in other departments would be coming to me with their issues that have nothing to do with me, but just looking for advice or whatever. So I had, big job at work. Like I said, very, very high demand and always ever changing. I go in with a plan. This is what I'm going to be doing today, this week, and something happens that has nothing that we planned or contributed to, but we have to deal with because it's government, and it's amazing the things that, people think government needs to take care of. And my boss is one of those people that is like, well, then we're going to take care of it. So things have to change. So I was very kind of stressed out at work and very feeling overwhelmed, and in some respects feeling inadequate because I just couldn't get everything I needed to get done, along with all the other demands that other people had, my staff, my boss, other departments. And then along with that at home, so, I'd come home and I'd be tired, exhausted, drained. I would be like a lump on the log, sitting watching TV. I'd, kind of veg out. That was my zone out time where I could just, sit back and not think about work or not think about anything, and just, get lost in whatever show I was watching. Yeah. I'm very fortunate that I have a great husband who took care of me. I'm getting emotional because he's so great.
He really is. He's an amazing man.
But I would come home at night and he would have, dinners prepared because he likes to cook, and he was home before me. And so he'd prepare, great meals for us and the family when the kids were home. But I felt like I was letting him down because he was doing all that work. I mean, I did the shopping and the other stuff, but, he was doing the heavy lifting as far as, making sure there's dinner on the table. And he's one that wouldn't, I'd be like, well, just cook, have dinner, and I'll eat when I get home. Like, don't wait for me. But he can't do that. He always waits. Oh, sometimes, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And, so I was eating later. And so then I'm eating later. I was, having a glass of wine with dinner. So now I'm drinking later. And then I wouldn't want to get up in the morning and go to the gym. So I kind of stopped. I had been going to the gym Monday through Friday anyway for years and years and years, working out at my local Y, and I stopped going because it was just too hard. I was too tired. And then, just before what kind of tipped me over the edge to literally pick up the phone and book the breakthrough call with you was I started not sleeping. I would go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I'd fall asleep immediately, or no problem falling asleep, but then I'd wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I'd be up for 3 or 4 hours at a time.
Oh dear.
And that was really starting to affect kind of everything, in that, now I'm really not making it to the gym. Even once in a while that I would go, now I'm not going at all. And I felt like crap because I wasn't working out, and I was, not eating properly, and I was tired all the time. And so.
Were you cranky?
I was very cranky. I
get cranky.
Yeah. I get cranky when I'm tired too. And so, because I was quote unquote cranky, I feel like my relationship at home with my husband, with my kids, started to suffer. And, I felt like as a family, we were arguing a lot more. Yeah. Me and my kids, little things started to really get to me, the room's not being picked up or whatever the case may be. We just argued a lot more. And it made, not only was I unhappy, now I'm making everybody around me unhappy. Yeah. And that's not what I wanted for myself or for them.
Yeah. So, then you called me.
Yes, then I called you.
Then you scheduled a call with me.
I did.
And, what prompted you to schedule the call? I want to say I was surprised to, because Joanna's my friend, and I was surprised to see that she had, scheduled the breakthrough call with me. And so what prompted you to schedule that call with me?
I think, I'm trying to think back. So I believe before I scheduled the call, like I had the thoughts in the past, um, that, like as you hear about other people and, um, things happening to people or in their lives, somebody gets cancer. I'm going to use that as an example. And like their whole world is changed and it really like rocks their world to make them look at life differently and make major changes in their life, whether it's, health and fitness, whether it's, relationship mending, whatever, realizing, hey, I don't need to work 100 million hours a week because it's just a job. My health is more important. Those kind, like, over the years, I've known people that have gone through situations like that and they make these major changes to their life. And I started thinking about, I don't want to wait for something horrific to happen. Like I should be able to make a change because I want to make a change and I want to, be happier than I am right now and feel better about life than I do right now.
Yeah.
So, I think a combination between that and the fact that, at work, I felt like I was drowning and I was, crying a few times a week, whether it was on my way to work, on my way home from work, while I was at work, things didn't seem to be going my way, or like I would get involved with, in meetings and stuff. And like the demands I felt were just so great that I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know I can do this job, but like, I feel like I'm drowning. So that's really why, I booked the call with you.
Okay, good. So thank you for sharing that because I know what that's like, right? So I've been there, right? So like no shame, and it's really just that that's what happens when you have so much emotional baggage, right? So much frustration, anger, anxiety that you don't do anything about. I mean, when I was in corporate, I cried, like I cried at work. I cried too on my way to, I'd be sick on my way to work. I'd be in tears on my way home from work. So I know what that's like. And I've also been in tears in business as well, right? So I let that stuff go. So then we work together, right? Now I'm leading into the work, right? The work that we've done together. So then we worked together. And what can you share about what you learned in Primordial Power and the time that we worked together?
So,
as it relates to the changes.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned is that, things that I used to believe is, stuff that, either people told me or I inferred from, growing up or work situations or whatever. It's all just a crock of crap. Like, I don't know why we let other people dictate what it is we're going to do or we're going to feel about things. But I think putting, those kind of things aside and saying, well, who cares what that person or that boss or coworker or whatever believes? Right? It's not my truth. Like it's not the truth that I know. So I don't really care.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know that I put unreasonable expectations on myself as well as other people. So like I kind of learned how to temper that and say, okay, that we can't do everything in one day. Like you need to plan and make reasonable expectations for people to do the things that they need to do. And that includes me.
That starts with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That starts with us. So tell us how is work, so how are the different areas of your life different, right? So you painted this picture about what things were like before we started working together, and what are they like now?
So, at work now, I do not work 50 hours a week.
Excellent.
uh,
Excellent.
I, I am
Do you
home.
enjoy work?
I do enjoy work. Yes,
Okay.
I do
Like
love
yours.
work. I
Okay.
enjoy the people there. I enjoy the actual work. And I do, I do enjoy doing different things,
Yeah.
even stuff that's not necessarily finance related. I was acting HR for a long time. And although we've hired somebody in that area, I'm still very heavily involved in that area. And I find that I kind of like it. It's different. I go back and forth with different things. So I'm enjoying it more. I'm definitely coming back, getting home earlier, having dinner at a more reasonable time. Um, some nights, even during the week, I can, help with the prep and the cooking of the dinner, because I'm home early enough and I'm not exhausted. As far as like my fitness kind of goes, I started right after we started working together. I started walking every day. It was over the summer, so I was able to walk outside. I got one of my sister-in-laws to join me. I joined a gym. So now that the weather's kind of turned, I'm still able to go work out every day.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I like to do it in the morning. So like I'll get up, I'll do my meditation practice, and then I'll go to the gym. So, by the time I get to work, I've been up for a few hours, I've accomplished a few things, I feel good, I'm awake, I'm alert. And then I can, start my day and do my thing. So like my work life's
You've lost
better.
a significant amount of weight.
Yeah, I've lost about 17 pounds.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's so good.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like, that's good. I feel better. I'm healthier. I went to my primary care doctor and I was down the weight and he was like, wow, that's, I've been gaining for the last couple of years, not a lot, but a pound here, 2 pounds there, 5 pounds here. And now I had lost it all. And so he was happy with that. So that part's good. I feel like my relationship with all my relationships really, whether it's with my husband, with my kids, not as much arguing going on, able to, have more of conversations about things that, we need to have conversations about. But now it's not coming from a place of tired or angry or cranky, it's coming from a place of love and respect.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
So I think that's super, important.
Okay. Good. That's awesome. So, and sleep?
Oh, I'm sleeping like a baby. Like a baby.
Uh-huh.
That started.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that started immediately. Once I had the call with you, the breakthrough call,
Yep.
and we decided to work together, and you had said, okay, this is what I want you to do. I mean, within 2 or 3 days, like I was sleeping like a baby, going to bed, getting up in the morning, and I don't have those bouts of insomnia in the middle of the night. So that was immediate. So that certainly helped boost me over like, okay, I can get up in the morning because I had a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't having that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was huge for me.
Awesome. And good. So good. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. So how is the vision for your future different now as a result of all these changes that you've made compared to before we started working together?
So I think before we started working, the future was, far, far, far away, that I couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
past tomorrow or, next week, maybe. It
Mhm.
was like weeks at a time. You could see like just short-term
Mhm.
future. Whereas now I can see the long-term future, the long-term goal at the end, whether it's a year from now or a couple of years from now. So, we started talking about one of my oldest is going to graduate in May, and so we kind of want to do a family vacation before he goes out into the real world, and then he's going to be starting from scratch and not have any time, and all that fun stuff that he'll be starting his career.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even think about that before, or like look at like, okay, well, where might we want to go, how
Mhm.
I want to plan that family vacation. um Looking at what are we going to do when the kids are done with school. Like, we're going to have this free time and money because we're not going to be paying for school anymore. Like, what do we want to be doing? And even career wise, I don't really worry, although I'm appointed and I could lose my job if the mayor decides not to run again. Something else will avail itself if that happens, or maybe I'll be there forever. Who knows? But I don't really worry about it. I don't really think about that and as being anxious or stressing about it,
Mhm.
because I know that I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'll find something else. There'll be another opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
to answer your question, how does it, how's the future look? It looks good. It's very, I can see it. It changes as I change and I want different things, or but I can see it.
Good. And you couldn't before.
No,
Awesome.
I couldn't before, and now I can.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes.
So yours is an amazing story. And thank you for coming to share it with us today. I really appreciate it. So before we started working together, and you were stressed out, right?
Oh yeah.
You were stressed out, burned out, couldn't see straight, right? You couldn't see your week,
No.
your month, your future, your, like year, your long-term future, and you weren't sleeping, which made you feel really bad, right? So you didn't have any motivation to have positive rituals, shall we say, work out and meditate and eat right. You got home too late to eat right, and your days were so hard that you were probably eating and drinking, and zoning out
Yeah.
of the television. That's how you were medicating, right? That's what I call medicating.
Yes.
That's how I used to medicate myself as well, with all of those things. So Joanna's story is not unlike is not too much unlike my own, although I let it go far worse than than Joanna did. But anyway, so, and then you were feeling pretty badly as a result. Your relationships were suffering. There was tension at home. There was a
Hmm.
lot of silly fighting, just because you didn't feel good, right? You didn't feel good, and
Right.
you were stressed out, and you didn't feel good. And as a result of our working together, you are now feeling good. You're sleeping through the night. You're meditating daily. You're working out. You're losing weight. You feel like you're doing a good job at work, right?
I do.
Do you feel like
Yep.
the rock star that you are?
Most of the time, yes, I do.
Okay,
Yes, I do.
good, good. Because Joanna is a rock star, right? She is a rock star. She's always been.
And
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I try to point that out more to other people, not about me, but about themselves, that we all are. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I've said on more than one occasion at work, hey, we got to celebrate these wins when they happen. Let's do it.
And where did you learn that?
From you.
Yes, there's a Facebook Live on that somewhere, and I'm sure there'll be another one.
Yep.
Yeah. So now you feel like the rock star that you are. There's more harmony in your home. right?
Yes.
More peace in
Much.
your home. You're having conversations instead of arguments at
Right.
home. You're getting your work done. You're doing, you're getting your work done in a normal work,
In a less time. Yeah.
in a normal work day. And so you're home to spend time with your amazing husband
Yes.
and family when they're around. You just feel good. You feel better. You're happy about yourself and with yourself. Is that a fair statement in your situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, I also realize that it doesn't just end with, like our working together, it's lifelong.
Yes.
And so, um, I go back and revisit. I watch those videos and I remember like, oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, I should think about that this week
Yep.
or, today or whatever. So it's very, kind of enlightening that, it's not a one and done. It's kind of like, people that, join a gym or join Weight Watchers, whatever, and they lose the weight. It can come back, you know what I mean? If you don't, kind of watch it. And so it's a lifelong change. It's a lifelong change to look at your life differently. And I'm glad I did it now. I wish I had done it 10 years ago, but you know what I mean? I'm glad I did it now because I'm still at a youthful age.
That's right. We're getting younger every day. So
we're getting younger every day
younger every
so
day.
that we can, go through the rest of our lives and enjoy it and be the best that we can be. Because, I was not the best I could ever have been, 6 months or a year ago.
Yeah.
I was not feeling at my best.
And as a high achiever, right? So I'm a high achiever as well. Like that, like
Mm.
that's really one of, let me know if you agree with this statement. That's one of the worst things. That's one of the worst feelings that you can have is that I'm not doing my best.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing forth my, the best of me and doing the best job that I can do and being the best person, wife, mother, friend that I can be. And that just eats you up inside. But I want to talk about the positive now, which is that everything is different. So everything is different now, and you're saying that this is a lifelong change. And did you learn those tools in Primordial Power?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. I think the Primordial Power program really kind of breaks it down and shows, well, it showed me the different aspects that I got to focus on and think about and consciously and unconsciously. And I find myself correcting other people, my kids, my husband, with what they do. And like, just as a silly little, for instance, is my husband doesn't like the cold. So winter's coming, he don't like it. He want, if it was up to him, he'd want to move. He keeps saying he wants to move to the Caribbean, right? Because it's warm, it's 85 every day. I might get a little bored with that, but he would love it.
Me too.
Because he hates winter. And so now every morning, he'll get up and he'll come downstairs to take a shower. And I'm usually at the breakfast bar, having my coffee, doing my thing, making my lunch. And he's like, because he's miserable because it's cold and he just got out of a nice warm bed. And I said to him, like, hon, I love you, but I cannot start my morning every day listening to that. I said, it's cold. It's New England. Put on a robe, put on sweats when you get out of bed. I don't know what it is that you want to do, but like, I don't want to hear that every morning. Like, it's a beautiful morning. It's sunny. It might be 32 degrees, but hey, we woke up this morning. Like, let's be thankful for that. Let's be thankful for that. You're alive, right? And so he's like, okay, and so he started coming down, and instead of grunting at me like, he'll say good morning.
Nice.
And
it's the ripple effect.
Huh?
The ripple effect.
Exactly. Like, I think he has a better day just because he's not, miserable. And I used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I would call my best friend in the morning, and I might go "Ugh," to her because it's like, oh, it's Monday. And I stopped doing that because it was like that's not really, how I want to start my day or my week or whatever. And it's funny. So every once in a while, I might say, like, oh, my back hurts, or oh, it's really cold out. And he'll go, hey, you should just be thankful that you're alive and that it's a glorious day. And so he'll give it back to me, but in a playful way. But he's right. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is cold, but I can just throw a jacket on. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank goodness you have a warm home and a jacket and
exactly
clothing and
I have a jacket I can wear.
All of those beautiful things. Yeah. Yeah. So the ripple effect. So that's awesome. So I just want to bring it back to, so you learn those tools in Primordial Power, because and I just want to say that that's the goal of my program is really to equip you, right? It's to facilitate the transformation, right? So, and let me know if this is if you agree with that, this is what you experienced, right? So my goal for Primordial Power and its participants is that we facilitate the transformation, and it happens quickly, right? The transformation happens fast, really fast. And then two is that I give you support so you can integrate those changes into your life, right? Because we can all make the change, right? And my technique is magical, I believe, right? Because it affects a change, over a couple of days at a cellular level. But then we identify and undo your bad habits, establish new habits. That's the hard part, right? Really, the hard part is the integrating the change into your everyday, right? The positive habits into your everyday and cutting out the negativity and the bad habits every day. So then I help you do that. And then, in all that, I also give you the tools. I teach you the tools so you can perpetuate those changes as you go forward. So do you agree with that description? Is that what happened for you? Do you feel like you have the tools? Now you are equipped to take these changes forward in your life?
Yes, I agree with that. But I would go a little further in saying that the change does happen quickly, like as we did the breakthrough session and whatever. But I think what I really appreciated and I found really helpful was that, not only are you there kind of guiding and, kind of guiding me, but you were also there to hold me accountable and show me where those changes could be incorporated. So like as we worked together, we had to, kind of get rid of my old ideals and baggage and whatnot and rituals and replace them with something more positive. But you helped me figure out what those more positive ones are and then made sure I did them on a weekly basis or, monthly basis. And we would go back and revisit them. So, because sometimes, some things what to do or how to do it, and others I didn't. And it was like, oh, well, what could replace that? Like, I don't know. And, you kind of helped guide me to the right answer for me. So that was super helpful because, certain things like, losing weight, you can stop eating and go to the gym, but other things, boundaries and setting boundaries for especially people that you work for is difficult. Because and that was something I probably would have struggled with a lot longer, and maybe I would have figured it out eventually, but it would have taken a lot longer to get there. So this kind of speeds up all of those processes and gets you the results faster, which is, what I'm all about, because that's the way I roll.
That's right.
And that's the way you roll. So
that's right. We don't have time for nonsense.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And I am all about fast. So thank you for saying that, right? Because I do believe that that's why mentorship is so important, right? Because it holds you accountable, and, gives you love and support, and holds you a kind of kick in the ass when you need it. Oops, kick in the pants when you need it. But it holds you accountable, and it's that accountability that that keeps you moving forward. That keeps you moving forward. And as I mentioned in a recent post as well, is that like a good mentor, I believe, is not going to tell you what to do. They're going to help you find the right answers. They're going to help you find your answers for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
true. You never did tell me what to do or even how to do it. It was more about asking. What I appreciated too was that you were so great at asking the right questions.
Oh, thank you.
That makes the other person, me in this case, really think about, well, how do I feel about that? Or why do I want that? Or why do I do this? Like, kind of get to those deep rooted questions. Cause I don't always ask, you're not going to ask yourself those questions necessarily, people in general. I just think it's human nature to not want to go there because it's hard.
Yeah.
And although the work, was in some cases hard, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So you made it not bad.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it is hard. It is hard, right? Which is why you need help, because we were talking before and I said, I say on a regular basis, like, everybody knows what to do, right? And you did learn some new things, right? You did learn some new
absolutely.
steps and strategies in Primordial Power, because the work is deep. But like in general, everybody knows what to do at the surface level. And we can't even do that on our own, right? Like, I have coaches and mentors, and like, people who are crushing it have guidance, right? They have help along the way to keep them accountable and on the straight and narrow. So I was going somewhere with that, but I've lost my train of thought.
Well, I think one of the biggest,
sorry?
One of the biggest things too is that I think if people do look for a mentor, do look for help, that's only a sign that they are confident enough to know that they don't know everything about everything. Nobody can. So asking for help in this way with, geez, I'm feeling overwhelmed and like a lot of people feel this way, I'm sure, or anxious or depressed or, have anxiety because they just, like, they're quote unquote stressed out.
40 million in the US alone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I didn't want to go see a shrink or a therapist and go on medication because I that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to, because that's only going to make me feel better maybe for today and tomorrow, but that's not going to make me feel better for the rest of my life. I want to feel better for the rest of my life. And I think that Primordial Power gives you the tools to do that. Awesome. And then as you revisit, the different modules, it just ingrains that, this is the right path to be on, because life is a journey, and this is part of that journey. And I think the sooner people realize that and people learn that and how to make the journey what they want and not what the world around them or the people around them are making those demands, the happier you're going to be for the rest of your life, however long that is.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. That's awesome. I'm so blessed to hear you, say that, and to see the changes in you, and to know that you are equipped to move forward and continue to thrive in your life, and that now you know that anything is possible for you, that you can have, be, and do, that you can be, do, and have anything that you want. And there's always an option to come back, right? To come back and hang out together again, to clean things up, but they take things to the next level. But the goal of the program is really to equip you with what you need to be successful, which is, as I posted recently, right, which is, joyful and fulfilled, right? Feeling joyful and fulfilled, essentially. So thank you for sharing your story with us today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have? You've given a lot of advice. So what advice do you have for anyone who's watching today?
Well, if they feel anything like I described or like I felt, book the call with you. I would say, and, see what it's all about, or, listen and learn what it's all about. Whether, I mean, I know that there are people out there that were or are a lot worse off than I was, even, as I described with my health and my weight and my, crying at work. There are people that are a lot worse off than that. And then there are people that are not as bad as that.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of handles it in their own way. But, just in my own immediate circles of family and friends and coworkers, everybody deals with it differently, and everybody's got stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can see it in my kids, just the things that they say to me and in the conversations we have. They've got baggage of stuff that, teachers have said to them, I have said to them, they've learned on their own or whatever. And I'm just, God, they need to let go of that and see that they can be and do whatever they want, because they can. They're incredible kids. And no matter what, I think it touches upon stuff that any age could, kind of grasp onto and learn from. And, for me, I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm in the middle of my, where I wish I had done this, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I would probably be I probably would have led a, different, I would have made different choices, or maybe led slightly a different life, but I know I would have been happier. But I'm grateful that I have that opportunity now. And so, anybody watching that is, kind of teetering or thinking about it, I would say at least call and explore, because, it's only going to help you. And it's something that is going to be with you for the rest of your life. It's not just a couple of months and it's done. I think it's going to continue and help for the rest of their lives.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Joanna. So, and if you want to book that call, I'll put the link in the comments somewhere, but it's madeleinecorrea.com/talk as usual. And that's the first step, right? That's the first step, is just getting on the phone to explore what's going on with you. And it doesn't mean that we're going to work together, right? But we might, right? But we'll explore what's going on with you, like I did with Joanna, what's going on with you. And then if it makes sense to explore working together, we'll do that. And if not, that's cool. That's cool too. But the first step is booking a call with me at madeleinecorrea.com/talk, so we can figure out if me and my Primordial Power program can help you make the kind of changes that Joanna has made in her life and is enjoying in her life, especially. So right now, like the holidays are upon us right now. And how do you feel about the approaching holidays? I should have asked you this before.
Yeah, no, I feel good about it. We actually are hosting Thanksgiving, which we typically do.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Eve, we go to my in-laws' house, but they, they're getting older and they feel like they can't do it anymore, which is fine. So we're hosting that.
Okay.
And then we also host Christmas Day. So I'm like, bing, bang, boom. We're doing three major holidays. And, my husband, of course, volunteered us for the Christmas Eve celebration, which is with his family. And I'm kind of like, okay, how can I make this a joyous occasion for all of us, and that, I'm not stuck in the kitchen cooking all night. So we were just having this conversation before I got on the call with you now. And, I had a couple of different ideas that I thought would be fun, because we're starting a new tradition by having it here. And I'm like, well, what if we ordered Chinese food? What if we did homemade pizzas? You know, like everybody bring a home, you know, like we'll cook them here, do homemade pizzas, or an Italian, you know, like do an Italian like lasagna meatballs type dinner where it's easier. You know, I don't want to be doing dishes all night, that kind of thing. So like, you know, we're starting that conversation, but I'm looking forward to the holidays, I have to say. My kids are coming home. I'm going to see my sister. My mother's coming down. So I am looking forward to the holidays.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Joanna, my love, thank you. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the Joanna's amazing story. Thank you for sharing your story with us today and for believing in me and believing in yourself. I'm so proud of you and your results. And I'm very grateful for your taking the time out of your busy day to come talk to us today. Again, if you want to book that call with me, just go to madeleinecorrea.com/talk. And I will look forward to seeing all of you, Joanna, and everyone again soon. And until then, I will see you in the gap. Okay. I love you, Joanna. Thank you.
I love you too.
And I'll see you all soon. Okay. Take care.